I think one of the major additions to the second edition that is obvious to any reader that picks it up is the addition of the new chapter on ethics.
Yes.
That's something that I would like to just delve into a little deeper with you just now. I'd like you just to perhaps talk a little bit about why you felt it was necessary to include an additional chapter, following on, if you like, from the more pragmatic concerns that concluded the first edition. And then perhaps we could talk about your understanding of ethics as applied to translation.
Okay. As I said, the last 10 years have seen a lot of developments and changes in the way the discipline functions. We now have a discipline, and in the way the profession functions. The fact that we now have a discipline in itself requires us to think and engage with issues of ethics, because there's hardly any discipline today that doesn't have a component of ethics in the training it delivers to its students. So even things like computer science, business studies, medicine, of course, engineering, all disciplines have to deliver some component of ethics, because that is part of the maturation process of a discipline to show that it's able to reflect critically on what it does. In terms of the profession itself, of course, we have seen increased professionalization in recent years in translation and interpreting, and that means that translators and interpreters are more accountable than they used to be. They are more visible and more accountable. Accountability means that you have to be able to reflect on what you do and take decisions that you can then answer for, whether legally or in other ways. And from teaching a lot of students over the years, I know that when they go out onto the market and work as professional translators, they often come across situations that they have never anticipated. Situations that are not taxing linguistically, but they are taxing in terms of their ethical implications. And because they haven't anticipated them, and they haven't rehearsed arguments and thought critically about the impact of what they do on others, they often make decisions that they regret later. And that's even more important actually than legal accountability, because at the end of the day, people live with themselves. They have to live with themselves. And if they end up making the wrong kinds of decisions, and they have no way of going back and putting things right, that's quite an unpleasant thing to live with. And so I felt that it is important to add something that reflects now that increased professionalization in the discipline, and the fact that it is a discipline, something that shows that we can reflect not only on the kind of mechanics of what we do, but can that allows us to reflect on the impact of what we do on others, because that's what ethics is. And you asked me about my understanding of ethics. Ethics is about the impact of what we do on others, and this kind of difficult balance that we have to keep between the rights of the self, my rights personally, and the rights of others that I come in contact with, and the rights of different others, because often the rights of different people clash with each other. This is what ethics is about, and it's a very difficult area to reflect on responsibly and be able to. It is something that we have to negotiate all the time in our daily lives. But translators and interpreters are in a very important position of having a major impact on the lives of others, the welfare of others. They work in situations like the asylum system. They work in courts. They work for minority groups. Just about everything that they do has an impact on the lives of others, on the quality of life, on their survival, and therefore they have to really think very, very carefully about the implications of what they do for others.